what's up, guys? Mystic Shot Podcast, episode 11. Sorry we missed you.
It's backwards.
Oh my. Wait, it's not even that.
You see,
Haha, go
backwards.
see, the funny thing with it is that you started that off and it looked like it was a really, like one of your kids' drawings of a straw or something, like in terms of, if you see it firstly come up, because you only saw the one bit at the top, and so it just looked like,
this is primo swerve artwork right here.
Yeah, so is that going on the fridge? Richard, rip your own kid.
A1.
Rip your own kids.
You better put that in the frame.
No, this is Daddy's fridge now.
You better put that in the frame.
Here, I mean, I have all the kids' artwork up here next to me.
Aww.
Hey, there it is.
Wow.
There it is.
That's cute. But yeah. So how's everybody feeling?
I'm great. How are you?
Good. Yeah, we're good. Yeah, I'm great.
Yeah, I'm
Fan-freaking-tastic.
Yeah, I'm pretty good actually.
I mean, I legitimately mean it. I never know whether or not he's saying it sarcastically or not.
No, I'm pretty.
I never know with him.
I'm pretty good.
I'm all over the place.
I'm enjoying the new set.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Well, we'll get into everybody's pick a card for the week, because I feel like, well, Gomez has been testing. I see. He's been. He's been in the lab.
I've been going crazy.
He's been in the lab.
Oh no! Here's one thing that people may or may not know about. I got insulted. But actually, when I say insulted, which people actually took a little tiny bit of issue with it. I didn't really care. A few people popped into my stream and actually said about it. Wow. I had already seen the video beforehand, but Mogwai actually in his one where he did the Tom Kench and Soraka one, he actually played me on, like, my name comes up on one of those things, and he mocks me because I used the soldier in the Solari soldier in the deck, because I was just literally, it was before stream started, the cards had just gone live, and I was like, okay, crap, I want to quickly try and make a Howling Abyss deck. So I threw a bunch of things. I was like, oh, this would work really well with ramp. And I was like, oh, I need a 1 cost in here. Didn't need a 1 cost. Shouldn't have put the soldier in there. But in his video, he actually mocked me several times in that video for putting the soldier in that deck, because it looked like a Trundle ASOL ramp deck that he thought I'd net decked, instead of the fact that I was actually trying. He never got to see my thing. But yeah, no. So a few people came into my chat asking about that type of thing. But yeah, no, so I got somewhat slightly slandered this week, but you know what? It's fine. And to be fair, Mugwai kicked my ass, and he deserved to kick my ass because I didn't play well.
Damn, I didn't even hear about that. Wow.
Hey man,
yeah.
Bad press is press, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Still press.
Any press is press.
News
bro.
Is news.
Yeah. Yeah.
But no, honestly, he kicked my ass, and he deserved to kick my ass. So, yeah. If anything, I thought it was more funny than anything. So
GG go next.
GG go next.
Exactly. I'm still trying to work on that deck, man. I really want to make a Howling Abyss deck, which actually works, because it's such a, when that deck did work, just basically getting a leveled up Gangplank and then instantly getting a leveled up Fiora and a leveled up, I can't remember, I ended up getting a number of, the leveled up Gangplank was just devastating, just to instantly throw that on the board when no one was expecting it. So yeah, it's a fun card when you can get to work.
Does it reveal the champion to everybody or no?
No.
Yikes.
No, only.
Yeah.
So
it is here's a Gangplank.
you never know. That's the thing. It's it's the RNG. You never know what the hell you're gonna get. You could get leveled up ASOL. You could get anything is possible with the Howling Abyss. And so
I think the worst is actually probably getting Teemo, because all he is a 2/2 elusive.
I guess there is the bad things. But even if you get Teemo, if they've got no defense for it, he's instantly which actually I guess no, because he doesn't put shrooms in after which. Yeah, no, you're right. So he is probably the worst. Yeah, he doesn't even start dumping up anything.
He's just a 2/2 elusive. That's it.
Yeah, at least you get to smack them.
Yeah, you just
bang. Yeah, so he's the worst, but you are at least getting to play him for one cost elusive rather than.
True.
I mean, obviously, but I don't know. It's a lot of fun. Obviously, there's a lot of randomness, so you just never know. The other randomness card. Actually, no. Let's just get into our favorite cards. Forget about Uncommon talking about.
I was gonna
going first.
I was gonna do just our catch up because we wasn't on last week. A whole bunch of stuff happened. Like me personally, I just got my phone fixed, so I'm about to be playing Runeterra again. You heard? And also, second, I got my license last week, so
Hey.
I can drive now. But we if anybody else wants to share any personal stuff that they've been up to for the last week.
Well, last weekend, we talked about how it was my honeymoon. We went and had a great time. It was good.
Yeah.
Got away from the world for a little while.
Yeah. That sounds amazing. That sounds
Yeah.
amazing, especially with everything going on in the world right now.
Yeah.
You gotta take some time.
You gotta take the enjoyment where you can get it.
That's right.
You gotta just
We
take
had a good time.
gotta just take a breather sometimes. But all right, we could get into Gomez. You have anything to share?
I mean, other than just putting out content and enjoying looking at all the new cards and saying the new cards came out and just inventing things, Gomez didn't do anything in his personal life. He's a sad man who, yes, is going to die. Young and forgotten. I'm definitely dying. I'm not.
I don't know about forgotten.
Yeah. on my I'm sure that in the funeral, there's gonna be somebody who's gonna stand up and make a speech and just say over the 20 odd years that I knew Gomez, I come to regard him as somebody I met. And that's all that will be in my footnote in history. Bit.
All right. All right, Gomez. All right, let's get into our pick a card for the week, guys. So, you know what? Fuck it. I'll go first.
Yeah, go for it.
Jump in, dude. Jump right in.
So, my favorite card for the week has been Star Spring. I've been enjoying that card. I'm sorry.
No. I saw the hatred in Swerve's eyes immediately.
Yo, I'm sorry. That card is good.
It's a good card.
That card is good. That card is good.
Oh.
Like, it's too good. Yo, have you played that card? Swerve.
Right.
No. Don't have that face until you play that card. Put it in a deck.
I've played that card.
It's too good though.
It's a card.
You know what?
I told you I'm turning it around. I'm not gonna hate on it.
It was like the first deck choice I think that most people went with when they were running. Like the first deck they made was thinking, okay, right, how am I gonna make Starspring work? So I threw it into a Vladimir deck with Shuraka.
I played up against one of those. It was pretty funny.
Yeah, so it's a good deck when you wish it works like that, but obviously the Tom Kench one's the one that's gone crazy.
Yeah.
I beat the crap out of it. I was running Noxus with 3 copies of Calling Strike and just laughing at them.
I think Tom
Nice.
Kench is way more broken than people thought he was gonna be, to be honest.
No, I don't think he's broken. I think that people, it's everyone's getting in on the hype of it, but he is quite easily counterable, as you said, Culling Strike, or just there is so many instant kill cards, like even now Scorched Earth,
True.
instant kill, or Guillotine.
True.
Admittedly,
True,
they
true,
throw a
true.
Bastion on him, but they need to make sure that you like if you're an opponent who's checking them and being like, okay, right, he's gone down past 4 mana now, he can't defend him with Bastion, or if they do use Bastion, it's like, okay, right, well he's only got 2 more of those left in the deck. I mean, there is ways what I'm trying to say is, at this moment in time, he's big because that's what everyone's doing. Like like the Mugwai deck went out. I think Swim put out. Like what I mean, it's big because everyone's seeing like the big streamers using it, so they're putting it out, and like there's all this hype because he's a new card. But I think he's going to start to hit his
Plateau.
bit. Like in terms of people are gonna work out how to counter him. That's just my opinion. So I don't actually think he's broken, personally.
Yep. I also had 2 copies of Scorched Earth in my deck.
to deal with that landmark as well, yeah, just in case.
Wow, is that how you feel? Is that how you feel?
That card's so good. No, I'm talking.
Scorched Earth is a good card.
I'm not hating on. I'm not hating on the Star Spring. I'm not hating on Tom Kench. I'm just saying Scorched Earth is so good.
Yeah, it is.
The card's so good.
It is. I feel like when I looked at that card, I didn't think it was garbage, but I was just like, if landmarks become a problem, then everybody knows what to play.
But what's so good about the Scorched Earth? Yeah, because I was actually going to say the Scorched Earth was my favorite card this week.
It's a close second for me, personally.
The reason why Scorched Earth was my favorite is because it's the versatility of it can be. So if you're against landmarks, boom, you can do like you wait until they've put as much resource as they can into that land. Because the funny thing about Star Spring is the effect doesn't activate until after the turn, like till the turn ends. So. You let your opponent like use all their resources, all their healing stuff, trying to get themselves up to 22, and then they get that turn up to 22, and they're looking all smug, like, I'm gonna win this game. And then on that turn, you throw the Scorched Earth on it. They put all that like so. That, but also, if you're not playing against landmarks, it's just all you gotta do is do a bit of damage to somebody, and then hacha, they're dead as well. So it's the difference. It's the difference in versatility between that one and the Targon one. The Targon one costs 3 as well, and it's a draw or remove.
Yep.
So it's one of those things where it can't if you've already got all your Star Springs in hand, like if you're talking about if you're just using the Targon landmark, but if you've got all of them in hand, so you're gonna need to use it for a destroy, but then your opponent's not playing landmarks, and then that just becomes a rotten card in your hand that you're never gonna use because you've actually already drawn them, and then they're not playing landmarks. So that's the good thing about Scorched Earth, is that it gives you the choice either way, like in terms of you can deal with the landmark or you can just kill somebody. So it's a very versatile card for free cost, and I like it.
Yeah, I agree.
It's a really good card.
It's a good card.
I love that card.
That's why it's my favourite card of the week. It's been helping me a lot, especially against Tom Kench decks. So, I'm not gonna lie.
Been putting in the work. Alright, but honestly, well, I don't know. Have you guys been? I've been just testing stuff, really. Honestly.
Oh yeah, I've been testing.
I haven't really been playing ladder that much, but when I did play a few ladder, I don't know. I feel like everybody's playing like ramp. I don't know.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of ramp.
So there's been quite a lot of ramp. Yeah.
My most hated card has to be War Mothers for sure, because once they play that, it's over. It's done.
Yeah. Okay.
It can be. It can be, but I tend to, when I play up against War Mother's ramp decks, is I like to just kind of save some big units, something just to, once they spend 13 mana, you gotta just smash the board as best as you can.
Smack the hell out of them.
Because you're put on a clock of like 2 or maybe 3 turns once War Mother's is out, so you gotta freaking put it in and just start swinging it.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
I was gonna say, like, literally, I've been seeing a lot of ramp decks, but I haven't really been having a problem with mothers because if you're playing as long as you can get the stuff in aggressively at the beginning, and most things like above 3 health, so they're not going to be taken out by avalanche. Like you can tend to normally just knock them down and force out some things out of them early. That means they can't do their later play. So I don't actually mind. I haven't had a problem with that personally. But getting back to Star Spring very quickly, just going back to your favourite card. Did anyone think it was really funny that obviously it doesn't count when you heal the Nexus?
Thank God.
It forces. So that's weird. Thank God. But what I mean is, so you see people start using, because they start having to then think, do I use my healing spell on my people, or do I use it on my head? Like it becomes a thing. So that I thought that was funny personally, because there was somebody who threw a star shaping on their core, when it was like they could have thrown it on one of their minions and could have actually, like, they would have got themselves really near to winning, like, type thing. So I thought that kind of thing made me laugh.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
It's pretty. I don't know. Star Spring is a good card. It's a good card.
It's a good card. It's one of those cards like Fiora, where it just gives you that alternate win condition, and that your opponent then has to play it. Same as when a Fiora drops it, your opponent has to be aware that's on the board and try to work out how to play around it, because obviously
win the game.
they're going to be they have to be more careful with their trades, because they have to be, okay, what's he going to put forward? Because technically sometimes he's trying to trade things where he's not actually trying to kill them. He just wants them to get slightly damaged so that he can. So it just forces you to have to work around it the same way that a Fiora deck forces you to work around that. So that's what I mean. Like, so I don't think I like the card. I think it's a really good card. I think that it's going to definitely see probably a lot of tournament play, because I think that people might throw that in a tournament deck as just like an alt win thing, where like it's forcing the opponent to try and work something else out. So yeah, I actually enjoy it. Anything like it sounds weird, but I do like any card that they add which offers an alternate win condition. I do like those.
I mean, as long as it's not like broken.
Oh yeah, no, that's what I mean. As long as it's not stupid, but
like I don't know.
I mean.
Well, I don't know if anybody played like other. I'm sure you guys played other card games, but whenever. Whenever they add no wait hold on.
This is Gomez's first card game ever.
Would you like me to take?
No, I don't. But whenever they
My card
introduce
game background is Go Fish.
Okay.
Whenever they
so in Hearthstone.
Yo, I swear somebody has to clip when Gomez says that in Hearthstone.
To be fair,
it's never fair. You're not being fair. Stop it.
Mecha Cthulhu was an amazing card in Hearthstone, which had the alternate win condition, where as long as he was the only minion on the board and you had no cards left in your deck, his death rattle or last breath was you win the game. So people actually did make decks where you would just burn through your whole deck, have him on the board, then kill him instantly and would win the game. Like, he was an amazing card. Like, because your opponent was playing cards where they were throwing their cards, where it's like, shit, go kill him quick, go kill him before he gets.
Yeah, it's the flavor of it. I think that's what Star Spring adds to the game, some flavor. Because Runeterra is missing flavor. Like, I'm not gonna say like what. Swerve.
Wait,
the only.
I'm not gonna lie to you. Even I'm gonna look at you weird there. I actually think that it's in a really good place. So, in terms of flavor, in terms of flavor, Legends of Runeterra, that's a spicy meatball there. So,
I mean, this is how I look at it, because I personally come from Magic, and in Magic I'm like I play blue white. So this is like yes, a heal. Let's go!
Swords to plowshares, baby.
Facts.
Swords to plowshares.
I'm like path. I'm like swords to plowshare. I'm like counter. I'm like that's me. That's who that's my identity. Like, so this coming into the game is like, okay, yes, now we have some kind of alternative win where I can just sit back, let my units heal, block his units, and be like, okay, yeah, what are you gonna do about it? So, that's how I feel about it.
In terms of let's get ourselves slightly back on track, shall we?
Yeah. I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's okay. The amount of times I talk about Hearthstone, don't worry about it. But to get ourselves slightly back on the track of things, because we've got a lot of things to cover. Because we've got obviously like a whole expansion, we've got patch notes.
Yeah. We have a whole.
I've already said that I love Scorched Earth. Hated card of the week, Astral Protection. Now, Astral Protection, only because of how devastating that is in the heal thing, especially because the fact, so it's like heal for 4 and then add +4 as well. I mean, it's a devastating card that gets their health up high, so it's also healing. They're getting their health higher, which means they can be healed even more so by Soraka. It's such a devastating thing that can work so well with Star Spring that's why I'm just going to say that's been the card that when you think you're about to make a trade and then you just see that come down, it's like, shit.
Yeah. It's like, damn.
And that's why I think I'm going to be playing Noxus all season. All season.
I mean, yeah, Coloring Strike is a good card.
Yeah.
That's a good card.
You may not see me not playing Noxus this season. It's entirely possible. Unless I'm not on ladder, like if I'm playing whatever.
even I can admit it's a good card. It's a good burst speed card for 4, and it's just devastating with what's currently going on at this moment in time, and the fact that obviously it gives Tom Kench that little bit extra health so that he can little bit extra more health so that he can just eat that bit, which is that bit more. But as I said, he's counterable. I don't actually think he's a problem. I just think that people haven't put in the cards to counter, or haven't put in the decks to counter yet. But there is definitely many ways to counter him. So.
Oh yeah. Tom Kench is not a worry for the guy who's playing Calling Strike all season, right?
Yeah.
All right. So is it me?
Yes.
Me?
Is you? Is he?
Okay.
Yes, it's just you now.
So what I've been doing with experimenting and stuff is I've been trying to update old archetypes. So I started with the TF Swain archetype, and I immediately threw in 3 copies of Fortune Croaker, which is my favorite card this week.
Such a good card.
I cannot believe like when I saw that card get released, I kind of overlooked it really quickly, and then I looked back at it. I'm like, oh my god, this card is so good.
How do you overlook that? It's an amazing card. Yeah, no, I'll agree with you.
It has lots of synergies, especially in the TF Swain. It's got card draw for TF. It does non-combat damage, and it gives you a body for 2 mana. That card is so good. Oh my gosh. I think it's probably the best card of the expansion, personally.
Personally,
think about it. No, pound for pound. No, I mean it. Like, it's okay, so Magic the Gathering, right? We can reference that.
Yeah.
What was in old Magic the Gathering? What was the best card in the game? There's 2 that I think were the best cards in the game, and the first is Hypnotic Spectre. Do you remember that card?
Oh, yeah.
I don't know why so much of me just wanted to throw in the Yu-Gi-Oh reference of the Pot of Greed.
So Hypnotic Spectre, 3 mana, 2/2, makes your opponent discard a card. Like, that is ultra powerful. And the other was another black card, Hymnatorok, which was 2 mana, your opponent discards 2 random cards. When you analyze those cards and look at what you have to invest versus the value you get out of them, it is amazing. And that's what Fortune Croaker is. Pound for pound, I think it is the best card of maybe even in the game right now. It is so good because it's got one stipulation: you have to have another unit. That's it. And it is so good. I love that card.
I believe I'd say that you're right in terms of it's one of the cards that's like up in the expansion that's devastating. I also think that Shakedown is devastating.
Shakedown's good.
Just because it's that card which kind of screws over anyone who's trying to keep something on the back line, like a Herald of Dragons or a what's this? Neverglade Collector. Anything that somebody's trying to keep on the back line.
I have the dragon. Stuff like that.
Anything that they're trying to do with that. One mana. Okay, yeah, somebody's got to take 2 damage, but if you're playing that in a deck where you got Vladimir, Soraka, like you got heal like somewhere like that, well, heals, Undying, and there's so many different archetypes that works in as well. So I like Shakedown as being a very devastating card, without a shadow of a doubt, and people have been definitely using that to an unbelievable degree.
and a card that I'm switching over to my least favorite is another pound for pound really strong card, which is Vile Feast. That card has been bugging the crap out of me lately. Not Vile Feast, Unspeakable Horror, the other one.
I was gonna say Vile Feast. I mean, it's been a while. It's been a while, man. I mean, but you know what the funny thing was? I was about to say to you, but isn't Unspeakable Horror the better one?
I think they're both really, really, really good. I think that Unspeakable Horror is a little more powerful just because when you take it out of the Nightfall archetype and then you get like a Cygnus or something, it's pretty nutty in the late game. And that card just it drains 1 health, so you get a little bit of healing, you do a little bit of damage, and you generate a random card that your opponent can't play around. And that card's been bugging me.
Well, it's a hell of a lot better, isn't it, when you think about it? Because number one, I say as long as you play it on Nightfall, it's giving you another random card that could be anything. But on top of that value, it can target anything. Vile can only target things on the board, whereas Unspeakable can even target Nexus, which can sometimes. That's what I mean. So that's why I think that it's way ahead of Vile in terms of.
I agree. It's definitely better, but I mean, Vile instantly generates a chump blocker. That's kind of like where that one comes into play as being really, really strong.
Yeah. True. I'll give you that.
You can stunt a lot of turn 2 attacks against aggro, and that's what makes Vile Feast stronger. But we're talking Unspeakable Horror because that card pisses me off.
Yeah. Good times.
Move along.
So yeah, I think. So that's everything. That's all the cards. What I mean in terms of our
pick a card.
picks.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask you guys one question. So, how's everybody feeling about Hush?
Well, I thought we were gonna get to the patch notes. You know what? Everyone's got their own opinions on it.
I just wanted to segue.
I don't mind it. I think
it's too weak now.
No, I disagree with you.
Yeah, shut up. Shut up.
No. What I mean is so because everyone said, "Oh, it's just a poor man's Purify." It's actually It's a lot better than that. It can target champions. Okay, fine.
Yeah, true.
It's for the turn, but that one turn can save your life in so many ways, especially against the champion.
Yeah.
So people say, "Oh, if they'll just be the poor man's Purify," it's a lot more powerful than that. I think that it shouldn't be disregarded. And the good thing about it now is the fact that it doesn't make copies means that it opens the door to more memey kind of like you can make decks. Which what I'm trying to say is like an Undying deck now works.
Yeah, it's not
because an Undying deck didn't used to work because they would literally just go boom, boom, boom. All your Undyings which don't have their stats and they're not going to come back now kill. Whereas now it's harder for it's harder for them to pick off every single one with it not thing. So I actually like the change.
Yeah, I think if you are in conversation with these people that are calling it a poor man's Purify, you can just hold your head high and just know that they're idiots. Because, like, if you purify something, like, yes, it's permanent, but if you hush something, do you really care the next turn that it's not going to be there anymore? I think that those situations where, you get purify value for more than one turn, does it really matter? I don't think it matters at all. Because
right, so
you purify like a Zehu Endure, like that play is dead, but if you hush that Zehu Endure, that play is also dead. You buy yourself maybe a little bit of time.
Right, okay, so this is where you need to be assessing when you're using which one. Okay, so yeah, true, Purify you can use as they're doing an attack turn as you would do a Hush. The good thing about Purify is if you were against, say, a deck that was using Neverglade Collector and they kept them on the backfield and then you just purified that. What I'm just saying is there is a difference in value in different situations in which you would use those. So saying against a what's his face? Words will eventually come out of my mind. Endure. It's the same kind of situation that you'd play that Hush anyway. Like what I'm trying to say is there's other ways. So that's what I mean, and I don't think that it's as bad as people say it is now. The fact it can still target champions, the fact that it can still save your life in many different ways. It's a different region that has the ability to do it rather than just being pure on Demacia. I think that people who are saying that it's bad don't understand how the card works.
Wait, but you didn't let me finish my statement. I was gonna say that it's too weak, but that's a good thing.
Okay. Oh, sorry.
I'm like, damn.
It's the way though. It's the way. It's because I've been hearing this a lot in terms of
no, bro. I
hated
that card too.
It's the fact that I've been hearing from a lot of people, like especially on Reddit and whatnot, going, "Oh, it's just a poor man's Purify," and that, it's just like, you don't understand how the card works. So don't worry.
You literally could not play certain decks. Like certain decks were unplayable.
Yeah.
Literally, like you said, Undying, for instance. Couldn't even play that deck.
Yeah.
There's no point. What are you gonna... Oh, you gonna attack and get hushed?
Yeah.
What's the point?
Hush is at a healthy point.
Yeah.
And it needs to stay there.
Yeah, I agree.
I
agree.
It's just the fact that, because the way that people are, they start to compare it, so they go like Purify is the same cost, and it's a burst speed spell, but it lasts for longer. But then you're not realizing the fact of how powerful that Hush can still be. It doesn't need to be permanent. It just needs to be used at the right time on the right turn. Especially against a champion or whatnot. It's a lot. Yeah, that's why it's. I'm just defending the card because I feel like it's been getting a little bit of like people have been bad mouthing it when it's powerful. It's more powerful than you think. Okay, that's my point.
You just gotta look. You just like literally just visualize like when should I use Hush? Like actually, now you have to literally. You can't just be like, oh, he has a full board of things that I don't like. Hush, 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 hush. Like it's not like that anymore. You have to literally be like, oh, is this Hush gonna save me, or not, or is something else gonna save me? You know, like it's not just this card.
Save me.
Exactly. It's not just this card that's gonna be like, oh, it's gonna save my life. Like no, it's not gonna always save your life now. And I like that because it should have counterplay. Hush had no counterplay. There's no count. It's burst speed, 3 mana, Hush your whole board. Where's the counter?
Well, no. The thing with it is that it stopped you from doing counterplay because you'd hush something and then you'd have that. So you'd like somebody had done their trade-offs in the middle type thing, and then you hushed their side of it, so you got the better end of it. But then you still had that fleeting one in the hand. So if they had things that were buffs, they were like, "Yep, you can't." What's the point of buffing it? Because he's just gonna hush. He's just gonna throw his other hush on top of it. So what's the point of buffing?
So it's like not only were you countering them, then you have to counter for their counter. Like what?
It's like. Stop doing that and don't try again.
Go on timeout, little Timmy.
Exactly.
What are you doing? Playing cards?
It's a lot more. It's a lot more healthier. Yeah. I would agree with it's a lot more healthier, but it still is a powerful card when used in the right circumstances.
Yes. All right, we can go over the balance. I just wanted to know what you guys' stance on it was. We can go over the balance.
Oh, you got it. You damn well got it.
Because I'll be arguing with my friends like, yo, Hush is in a good position now. Like, it's actually not broken. It's not mind-blowingly broken now.
All right. Genevieve Elmhart was the top card of the balance patches, losing 1 health. I feel like I think that's fine. I think it's totally fine.
I agree because of how devastating she was when she hit on the board. She had scouts, so she would instantly be going on the board, attacking forward, grabbing some little tiny minions that's stopping you from being able to put them in defense, and then attacking forward again, grabbing something. And her health pool of being 5 meant that she would normally be able to survive that second attack as well. Whereas now it means that she might not. I'm not saying that she won't. I'm just saying that she might not survive that second attack. So then she's off the board. Yeah. Then so that just makes it fairer. Like, and the 4 health at least gives your opponent something to maybe be able to counter, like on the first attack, like adding a buff to the. But that's me. So I completely agree with that one.
Yep. I think in the 6 slot, her ability before to knock out, like a smaller unit, and then like even trade with another unit from the 5 or 6 spot for
Plus as well,
drops. It was way too big, but now you have to think about it.
Plus as well, she is buffing your board as well. Yep. She's giving everyone +1/+1 as well. So it's not just like, you know what I mean? There's a lot. She's giving more value than just that trade-off. So no, she's in a fairer place now.
Yeah, she
Bastion. You know, the Hush 2.0 of the hated Targon cards from weeks past. Moves up to 4 mana. I think we actually discussed that when Wonder Mellow was on our stream. Yeah. And we mentioned that. I think we all kind of came to an accord when I think I said, well, would we be happy with it being 4 mana but staying the same? And we all said, like, yeah, I think that would be fair.
It makes it fairer because it does mean so like they can't just store up their spell mana to 3 and then play Lee Sin immediately and go, ha! Immediately put the barrier on him as soon as he drops, like, you know, like on turn 4. So it allows for a little bit more play around.
Yeah, I in terms of like tempo, I think that it's where it needs to be. Like, you have to give up tempo if you want a Bastion now.
Yeah. And it is the fact as well that, like, sometimes you would ping like, even if you did have 2 spells, they would throw a Bastion, you'd ping that spell, and then they'd just throw another Bastion on him immediately. Like, it stops it from being as quick as that kind of thing.
Yeah, because format.
I don't know, maybe it's me who thought that, but it's adding that extra point of mana just does.
Yeah, I think it's in a good spot now. I think it's, you know, you have to invest if you want that.
I was gonna say, I was massively expecting with the nerf to Hush. I was and like this little thing on Bastion. I was massively expecting to see a lot more Tarek play now, because you throw Bastion on top of Tarek and then he gives it to the next person along. Like, I expect to see a bit more of him, because obviously Tarek massively got, like, Hush killed Tarek immediately because nobody wanted to play Tarek with that. But now that Hush is in a slightly more in line place, potentially you might see more Tarek play now. And that with Bastion might be devastating.
True.
Yep, I think you're gonna see quite a bit more of Tarek, honestly. So Hush was the next card in the balance patch. We already discussed that. Living Legends, I don't really care.
Right,
honestly, like,
I'll take whatever
like
changes.
Not refilling the spell mana, like it's a good thing, because, you know, if you only had 10, you're not gaining spell mana now, which is, I think it's fair.
So the thing with it was, I think the thing that was annoying people were when people were saving up their spell mana and playing this early. So, like, playing this on turn 7, playing this on turn 8, it refilling that and then also refilling their spells, because obviously there's a lot of powerful spells in
that you can get
those cards that they could potentially get out of the Celestials. So the fact that it stopped the spell mana, so it meant that, like, now those spells, you're having to work with the mana that you've got. It makes it a lot more fair for the early game, because let's face it, it don't bloody well matter when ASOL's on the board. It doesn't matter for the late game when ASOL's on the board, he levels up, because all that stuff costs 0 anyway.
Yeah,
so to stop that earlier push is so it's fine. It's one of those kind of changes that I'm like, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna.
It's so that you have to make a choice between either the spell or the followers. You can't just be like, oh, I'm just gonna throw down 3 followers and also blow up your board at the same time. Like, that's a lot.
Yeah, I think it's a little bit more in line. And the next card on the list was Riptide Rex, going to 25 attack, overwhelm with 200 health. Oh, wait a minute. Nope. Riptide Rex is still didn't get touched, and I cannot believe it. Honestly, I really thought
I don't even know how Riptide made it through this balance patch, bro. I don't even know how.
To be fair, I think it's because they knew what was coming. Because with the heal, with the heals and whatnot, Rex is just a nice board clearance. Like, in terms of if somebody's using, cause if you imagine how many times you've been against a board of healers where, like, they've just got a massive board full of stuff and it's really hard to counter because of all the healing spells, everything that they've got, that even if you try to trade them off, it's not going to work. So Rex is now he's a really good board clear for those kind of situations. So is it weird that I think that Rex doesn't really need to be touched right now? I think he's actually, like, for the current what's going on with everything.
Yeah, no, when you consider, think it's weird. Yeah, I don't think it's weird.
When you consider that, so even added in the card that I hated this week. So, like, you know, Astral Protection, just like that, the fact that he could knock down that massive health pool thing that you're adding onto people, as well as, like, Bayou, Brunch and whatnot, like the health stats that are being put on. The fact that he can knock down a lot of that, I don't know. I think he's okay where he is with the new cards that have been added, because there's a lot of healing in the game, and so and chance to build up a board. So I don't actually mind him now, personally.
I feel like well, I don't know. I feel like the meta is, like, very slowly shifting towards these healing and, like, ramp and kind of, like, you know, I'm not saying aggro's not out the game, because aggro's never going to be out the game, because whenever there's slow decks, there gotta be fast decks. So aggro gotta be in the game. So it's like this triangle of like ramp, mid range, and like aggro decks. There's always gonna be that kind of, you know, exchange between the three. So, you know, when it comes to things like Rex, in my opinion he kind of falls like closer to the control kind of aspect of things and more like mid-range kind of, rather than him being more like a finisher, because I feel like a few patches ago he was used as more of a finisher rather than more of like a control aspect, and I think his place is kind of shifted. Yeah.
Well, Bilgewater have got probably the best board removal like in the game, like in terms of like actual like the damage that they can do. What I mean by that is across the board, like in terms of like, if you consider the fact that Make It Rain targets more people, it's like, don't get me wrong, P&Z has got a lot of concentrated removal, but Bilge has got more like kind of like wider spread, almost bald damage, and I like that as being
talking
part of
damage based removal, right?
Yes.
Right.
Yes. I think that they've got the best, which is some of the best in the game. So, and I like that as being part of their identity, personally.
Yeah.
So, that's why I kind of want Rex to stay where he is, personally. Like, as much as it might sound annoying, but he's a good bald removal.
Yeah,
I like that.
I just brought him up because there was a lot of people calling for Riptide Rex nerfs before.
Oh no,
everyone's
gonna, I mean, everyone's going to be calling for it. Everyone, which like he was at the time, like. People running free of him in the deck, it's just devastating. Just because literally just warning shot, boom, he just goes out. I think that the nerf that got made to Grifter definitely helped because it made him like you weren't just getting that free warning shot.
Yeah.
So the nerf to Grifter is what put him more in line. I think it put him more in line than what people realized.
Yeah, because getting that free warning shot was that was a lot. That was everything. I'm not even gonna lie.
Oh no, it was without a shadow of a doubt. So I don't actually mind where he is at the moment, because when you consider the fact that Bilgewater is a great counter to Targon in a few different ways, because Targon's either trying to build a board of things to heal, or it's trying to build a board of things that are going to have good stats so that when ASOL drops, he levels. So the ability to be able to remove the board for either of those situations is good. So that's why I do like I like Rex where he is personally at the moment, with the game as it state that it's at.
Yeah, no, I agree with that.
Yep.
Everyone says the hate towards Gomez that shields her up. No,
let's talk about each landmark. Let's jump right into each landmark. So, Howling Abyss, the ARAM Freljord card. How do you guys feel about Howling Abyss?
I really want a good deck that makes it work. See, because I think the thing that you need to understand is that people.
It's ramp.
I know exactly. Ramp makes it work. What I'm trying to say is that people are saying, like, when people saw this card for the first time, oh, it's broken. It's broken. It's not really that broken. It costs you 7. It costs you 7 to get there. Plus, you've then got to play the champion. Not only that, you're playing a champion into a deck that's not constructed for that champ. What I mean is, like, there's certain decks that they work for certain champions. So, as you said, if you get Teemo off of this, Teemo doesn't work because you haven't got any things. If you get Swain off of this, if you've not been doing much damage things across things, then what I mean is, most decks that involve champions are built built with that in mind. Whereas if you're getting a random one, so Sejuani or Gangplank, yeah, they're good champions in their own right, but they're not going to be leveled. Like when you, I mean, actually no, sorry, they are going to be leveled, of course, because you get them level 2. Don't worry about it. What I'm trying to say is that you don't.
It's a huge tempo
something
loss.
that works. You don't always get what works with them. Is what I'm trying to say. You don't always get what works with those champions.
Yeah, you're not automatically going to have synergies in your deck based around
you get Yasuo. True, yeah, he's got what you call it. He's going to have a quick attack, but if you don't have any stuns, then what I mean is like it's a good card for hilariousness.
Yes,
but it's never going to be consistent. That's the point I should be trying to make. It's not going to be consistent for the wins because you never know what you're going to get off of that. But that adds to the fun of the card, personally.
Right. it's a ginormous tempo loss.
Yeah.
Immediately, like automatically you lose, a turn and a half of tempo just to play that card. But it could be really funny, right? It could be really, really funny.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I got.
Well,
my
the thing of it is now, because you need to assess it along with how other landmarks are going to do. So Star Spring, if that's what you call it, that's very prevalent at this moment in time. If it becomes so prevalent that people are running removal, then you're playing that card. You spend 7 on it, and then somebody just immediately just goes, aha! Would you throw some counter that immediately kills it? It's like, oh, okay, well, I guess I just die. What I'm gonna say is like it has to be put into an assessment with how the state is with other landmarks, because if other landmarks are doing good, people are running counters, and so the big value that you've had to put into that immediately goes to nothing, because it is at the start of round. So
you gotta make it.
If that dies on the turn you play, you don't get anything out of it.
Yeah.
So
you gotta actually make it to the turn round. You gotta make it to the next round, buddy.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. Yeah. So I like it as a banter card, a banter meme card, but in terms of consistency, it's obviously it's never gonna be there, is it?
Yeah, I agree.
What about Slaughter Docks? What do you guys think about Slaughter Docks?
Right.
Yo.
Okay, actually, I'll let we the people.
I think people need to test it more, because I think that's one of the landmarks people I have personally haven't seen anybody really test it. I mean, maybe on my next stream I'll test that card, or maybe today if I'm playing Runeterra, maybe I'll test it, because I personally haven't tested it and I haven't seen anybody test it. So, but it seems in context it seems good though. It seems like a good card.
I think it's good because I think it pushes the possibility for not playing Shadow Isles in deep more.
Mm-hmm.
What I like about it is that it's going to be giving you value, right? Because either you're tossing cards to you, getting yourself closer to deep, but the second that when you go deep, it's turning into a sea monster, which sea monsters cost 4, 5, 6. Like they're high cost, and you're getting one for free. Like it could be you don't know who you're gonna get. So sometimes you're gonna high roll, sometimes you're gonna low roll in terms of which one. But always the cost of that sea monster is gonna be more than the free cost it played to play it, which is also, and that free cost is helping you get to that point. Mm-hmm. So I think it's fine because you're always going to be getting value off of it, because, as I said, whatever sea monster it becomes, it's going to be better than that free cost you paid for it.
Yeah, it's a trade up for any sea monster, right?
Yeah.
Then you have the potential to high roll to freaking, what's it called?
Terror one, which it knocks them down and fearsome to all. I was gonna say, or you high roll into the treasure one, right?
Spicy.
Actually, because it does summon, so does that.
Yep.
Because it is the summon effect, which should still give you the treasures, right?
It has the summon effect.
So you high roll into the treasure one, right?
Yeah, like I said, I think it pushes the flexibility to remove Shadow Isles from the strongest of deep decks, and I think PNZ with cycling cards, Zonite Urchin and all the discard and draw one cards. I think that's going to be really strong. Actually,
yeah, honestly,
a lot of strong potential.
Honestly, I felt like I've seen that deck. Maybe what?
There was a turbo deep.
BBG made a turbo deep.
Yeah, I think I've seen that deck before, and it was actually not even that bad before, to be honest.
Because you run Twisted Fate in that deck, and then you've got so much draw along with that, and then the way that you kind of get round it is actually. I definitely swear I saw Saucy Mailman playing one where he did that with counterfeit copies, and just kept making copies of the treasures, and so they just kept getting cycled in there. So
yep, he definitely does things like that.
So that's what I mean. So definitely, as you said, it does just open that door, because it's had to basically near enough stay in Shadow Isles for a while now. So because of how many toss cards are in there and that, so yeah, no, it does obviously open it up, which is good. And as I said, no matter what, it's helping you get to where you want to get to, and then the second that you do, it's then becoming something which is more valuable than what the cost of free is anyway. So, yeah, I like it. I like it as being as a landmark.
Yeah, it's a tempo sacrifice, just like Howling Abyss is, but it's consistent.
It's more value than what you call it?
Agreed.
Howling Abyss.
Agreed. Noxcria Arena. This is my favorite landmark
Love
the expansion.
Love
and I believe a couple of weeks ago I actually called it that the Noxus is going to get the arena. And I was wrong. I thought it was going to be strongest unit versus strongest unit, but it's strongest versus weakest, which Mogwai put a video out of a deck that I had already freaking made a couple of days ago. And this guy's just, he's done this to me twice.
How dare he?
Seriously, how dare he come up with a great idea and put a video out on it?
Yeah.
Right? Like, how dare he? But because he did it like a month or so ago with his Monkey Business deck with Thresh and Gangplank. I had been playing that for a while, and Ash.
Can you just give me a quick?
Because so good.
I have not seen that deck yet, so can you just run me through what was in his one again? Because I can't remember what was.
Which one? The arena.
Okay, right. It's an Ash deck. Yeah, I've just
so it's Frostbites. Because
because
arena
you force it into
at the end of the round.
Yeah, you force it into being their weakest minion.
Yeah.
I can understand the concept.
Yeah, it's really fun. I think it's going to be probably one of the best decks for next coming weeks.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm loving, as I said, the deck that I've made with Undying with that. Undying with that, forcing once you get your Undying to being like really high up, so it's always your strongest. The fact that it can't attack on there, or can't defend, becomes meaningless because at the end of the round, you're going into the ring, regardless of the fact, and boom, boom, boom. It's an amazing.
It's really, really good.
It's an amazing card.
Quick break. Can you spell my name? Thank you for the follow. We'll touch on what you had mentioned in a moment. We're just going to finish talking about the landmarks really quick, but I will touch upon that for sure.
The other good thing about the Noxian landmark is that it can work with it's obviously it works well with trading. So as I said, it works well with Ash. It could work into decks with Garen and things like that, which involves strikes, so that you can potentially level your Garen up very quickly. It could also work potentially with Vi, so throwing out Vi, so throwing this out and then throwing Vi out. If it's on your enemy's attack turn and their attack turn's finished, throwing Vi out, and then that's going to basically mean you're going to get an attack immediately, which should level her up. So you're going into your attack turn with a leveled up Vi. It's not too bad of a thing. It's a really nice landmark which allows versatility, and you can come up with loads of different ways of playing with it. So I do like it.
Yeah, I think it's great with Frostbites. I think I mentioned to you guys that I think it's going to be good with the heal decks as well, because you can buff up your unit's health and get free trade ups and stuff like that. I think it's pretty good. You had mentioned that you had crafted the Undying with the arena, and it works really well. That's fun. That seems like fun. I want to try that eventually. Moving along to probably the worst landmark, University of Piltover.
How dare you say that's the worst landmark? I actually had a lot of fun with that. I put that in a Jinx deck with discard aggro, which obviously discard aggro was already a powerful deck. Admittedly, don't get me wrong, once Jinx dies, it becomes a hunt for Jinx again in your deck and becomes problematic. But when she's on the board, it's hilarious.
I don't like this card. I don't think it's very good.
It actually does. It does actually combo really well with Jinx, and by that I mean
it give you it gives you random cards, right?
Yeah. No, but what I mean by that is, so once the round starts, this effect takes place first. And so if your hand has got no cards, it discards and then puts in things. So it actually does activate Jinx's bomb, and then you get the free cards. But then you also get to draw a card from your deck, or 2 cards from your deck of Jinx's on the. So it's actually it does combo really nice with Jinx. I'm not like that's my point, is because people didn't know how this was going to work, whether or not it would be you draw a card and then this throws that out immediately, and then that gives Jinx a bomb. But Yeah, and obviously it does come down to what the random cards are going to be you're going to get, because you could get whatever the hell. You never know whether it's going to work with your mana cost at the time, what you're going to get, but it adds to the fun, and you always get the bomb instead of Jinxes on there. So I honestly enjoy this one, but I do understand how people wouldn't, and how its potential for consistency is not really there. But yeah, no, I like it.
Yeah, I just think it's the worst one. It's the worst of the landmarks.
The reason why I'm going to disagree with you is because the one problem that discard aggro comes into is once you've burnt all your cards or burnt your hand, and your opponent then has capitalized on that and still managed to stay alive, it gives you an extra out. It gives you a okay, what random cards am I going to get? Hopefully I can find something which is going to, like, it's not always going to give you something. What I mean is it does give you that chance of an out once you burn out of your cards. So I do think that it's no, without a doubt, I think that the Howling Abyss is the worst, because as I said, it takes you a long. No, but what I'm trying to say, Howling Abyss takes you a lot to go into that resource, and if it just dies, as I said, because people are playing counters to Star Sprint. I mean, people could be playing counters to Star Sprint to get rid of the University, but the deck doesn't die on its own because it's played in a discard aggro deck. Discard aggro deck is still strong, whereas I don't know. Like personally, I think that it's the value that you get out of it is not as like the value you get out of that doesn't work out as much for the cost of Howling, is what I'm trying to say. Where if it dies, you spent 7 on that. Okay, fine. You spent 5 on this, but at least you've still got potentially more mana that you can use. That where 7's taken a lot of your resource to be able to put that on the board for it just to die. I don't know.
Yeah,
I think it's close. What do you think?
I can agree with Gomez. At least the University combos with something specifically. Howling Abyss doesn't combo with anything specifically. Like if you get the Howling Abyss and say for instance you get Teemo off of it, you probably lose that game, and they just instantly kill it. But say if you're comboing it with Jinx, and then you play Jinx, you get the bomb, you draw 2 cards, you get 3 cards already fleeting your hand. It seems pretty good. Even if that happens once, that seems pretty good.
I think it's most powerful in Casino with Twisted Fate and Jinx.
Yeah.
Because you're creating 3 random cards, right? Or are you drawing 3 random cards? No, you can't be drawing. Never mind. I'm wrong.
It's not going to work. It's not going to work with Twisted.
It's not going to work. It doesn't draw.
No, it creates. It creates 3 random cards. Doesn't draw cards.
So it really only combos with Jinx. It really only combos with Jinx. But with Jinx, it actually is pretty good. Like even if let's say for instance those 3 cards are not playable, right? You literally get a bomb and 2 cards on top of that. That's still really good.
If you want to say what else it combos with, potential chance of comboing with what's his face? Potential chance of comboing with Suit of Perfection, because you're going to be playing random cards, and so that would help level up the Suit of Perfection.
That's facts. You play that one.
We're talking about other combos that gives a potential chance of it could do, because obviously it's not going to be burning. As I said, if the only time it burns your Suit of Perfection, if it was already in your hand, that's going to be the time where it's going to burn it before using this. It depends on how you play Rad, but it is possible to put that into that kind of deck and actually still get value out of that. That's
okay.
What I say is another chance.
Yeah. No, I think the University is a little bit better than Howling Abyss. Just like Swerve says, it's probably like 20. It's like about 40,
really
60. But like I think University is just a little bit better.
So then moving down to the final one, which is probably the 3rd worst, right? Vaults of Helia. But is this the return of Bald Eagle? Is Vaults of Helia bringing back the Brahmanivia control? Will it do it? I think it can. And I think it actually makes that archetype really good, because you drop Vaults of Helia with an Anivia on board, and you only play Rekindler as your 7 drop. That's funny. That is a huge combo, and it would devastate anything if you could pull it off.
It's a huge combo. Yeah, it definitely works in that kind of deck. It's it's one of those things where you're gonna have to see, because yet again, it's that same kind of thing where you've got to. It's a lot to put in 5 mana, and it all works off of. Actually, I guess it's say of any landmark, it's all working off of the same thing. It depends on what counters. Like if landmarks become such a thing, everyone's running counter.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. It is a better landmark than some of them. Wouldn't say it's the best, but it's definitely not the worst. And it opens up potential play. The thing of it is that you have to build that deck in a very specific way, and by that I mean you can't have things that cost certain, like you want there to be a cap. So what I mean is you've got to go, okay, right, no, this costs minions, because I can't, if it goes there, then it's going to kill that to create this, but I don't want that to die, so I can't have that. But what I mean is you need to work out perfectly what you don't want to die, what you definitely want to be keeping on the board, and then not have something that's higher than that, is what I'm trying to say, like in terms of with this. Because the problem with, say, something like Ledros is, yes, it will put a Ledros on the deck, on the board, but Ledros' effect only which it counts from playing, so you wouldn't actually get his halving the thing from him just being summoned by this.
True.
Right. You still get a Ledros, and he's still a really powerful man, but what I'm just saying is, like, there's certain, you need to be building this deck in a really certain way to get the maximum out of it, and that's the other part.
It's just like Starspring, right? Like Starspring is good in one archetype, one. This is good in, I believe, just one archetype, and I think it's the Anivia Rekindler, bringing her back over and over again deck.
I can see it.
I'm interested to see what people do with it, because that's the first thing that people see, and it's definitely going to be a deck that we're going to be probably seeing a lot of. But I want to see whether or not anyone makes some weird ass combo with it that is going to end up being funny, and I'm going to want to see. So.
I think you're gonna see it in Brahmanivia, and I think it's coming back, and I think it's gonna be really good.
I can see that.
Personally,
I can see that.
I don't know if I'm gonna do it on stream tonight, but I will be doing it.
Rekindle is a good card.
What I want to see is somebody playing this with Bilgewater and playing it with Gangplank, that then goes into the Rekindler, and then goes into somewhere as like a literal playing Harrowing with it as well, or something which is going to get loads of Gangplanks on the board. I want to see some kind of move with that, or something which then so you get Gangplank on the board, but then it trades up with things so that the last thing you end up having on the board is the his ship, the Dreadway, so that everything's going to be doing double damage, and then you just harrow and get loads of Gangplanks out, and then just go and do like all of that. That's something that kind of. I want to see people do silly things with it like that.
Yo, guys, I just had a mind, like my mind just exploded because I played Magic. Because I played Magic, and this card is Birthing Pod. Oh my god! I just noticed that. This card is broken. Mm-hmm. Hold on. I got to experiment. Hold on. Because I love the Birthing Pod in freaking Magic. Hold up. I got to experiment with this card now. Woo, you got me on the hype train.
It kills your most expensive ally to summon an ally in your deck that costs 1 more. So it needs to have something that costs 1 more than it on the deck. It won't just kill your strongest ally. Like this is what we were talking about before. Yeah. Me and Swerve, like, say, like, oh, why don't you throw this into an Undying deck? Because then the Undying keeps dying. It only keeps dying as long as you've got 4 costs in your deck. So it has this landmark requires you to build a deck in a certain way where you're trying to get something out. So you're putting the cards in a certain way, which means that this is going to die to create this, which is then going to die to create this, which is then going to die to create, like, you got to be playing it in a certain thing, and then you have it where there's a cap, where there's nothing which is higher than it, so it can't die to become something else. If there's something you don't want to
guys can look forward to me making a few decks. I'm definitely. I just had my mind just exploded. I'm like, wait.
I just want to see that Gangplank deck where somebody makes it where they just knock through and gameplay dies, but then comes back with Rekindler, and then comes. And I just want to see some crazy thing along those lines.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be really strong in Anivia with Rekindler, and then Darius into Rekindler. I think it's going to be really big because those are like you could also maybe do Sejuani because Sejuani's 6 cost into Rekindler, so it's going to be those 6 mana champions. Like, so let's just take a look. What are all the champions that cost 6? I don't know, Swerve. Let's find out. So we got Anivia, Darius, Hecarim, Karma, Lux, and Sejuani.
Oh God! Why did they make Karma a 6-drop? Hold up! Wait a minute.
Spooky Karma, right?
Woo!
Actually, the potential for Hecarim is also
that Hecarim.
especially if you're comboing it with Aaron,
man.
obviously,
Yo, guys.
all of the. I mean,
guys.
potential. I mean, I'm just saying, like I said,
You guys can look forward
I
to
think
some
it's
decks.
a good
You
landmark.
guys can look forward to some
Have
decks.
we gone through all the landmarks now?
Oh, baby.
Yes. Yep. We
Okay.
are done with landmarks. We are all done with landmarks. What do you guys want to talk about next? Because time's getting a little.
I mean, I was gonna say, well, have we not run out of time? Aren't we near the time run out?
Yeah, I gotta go to work. All right, so
But no, it's really
we definitely had a good talk. But it's because I feel like we haven't talked enough because we didn't talk last week. Because I feel like we had a whole bunch. I feel like we put together this week and last week together, and we were like, "Yo, we got to talk about everything." But we only have a limited amount of time. So, but what I was gonna say was that thank you everybody for coming through and showing your support. For the YouTube people, this is gonna be up on Wednesday. I'm gonna leave a link to everybody's links below. We got Gomez is working on a bunch of content. I'm working on a bunch of stuff. I'm gonna start producing a few things because you guys just got the cogs rolling in my head. Birthing pod. Oh my god. But anyways, then we got Swerve. Also, he got his logo. So he's gonna be working on a few things now. So we're all gonna be coming out with content. So I'm gonna leave everybody's links below, and I'm gonna leave everybody's Twitches below as well. And
yep. When's everybody streaming next? When's the next day that everybody's streaming? And what time?
Same.
Monday.
I'm gonna stream on Monday.
I will be streaming tonight.
Oh, you're gonna be streaming tonight?
Yep, about 9 hours.
I'll catch you.
Nice.
I'll catch you tonight then. Yeah. So that's about it, guys. Thank you everybody. And
yep,
we'll catch you next week, guys. All right.
Da 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 da. Hey.